I would temper your expectations because Thymesia is not a massive game. It's very honed in and to the point. I beat the game in about 8 hours, but with side quests and such, that could exceed 10 to 12 hours or more. After this point, you can farm enemies for resources to increase stuff like your plague weapons, skill trees, and ingredients for your potions, which is a whole other system that is pretty in-depth. I actually really dig the potion crafting in this game because you can customize your potions into specific roles to help you.
In my opinion, I don't give a fuck about this shit. Like, I don't care about consumables. I think they're just fucking annoying. Like, I would rather that they take the development time and make a, you know, like, more bosses, more challenges. Like, give me some sort of way to, like, counteract this. Like, having to do consumables and shit is just really annoying to me. I would just rather not have to.
I hope other games take notice of this. That being said, this is an indie game, and for what it is offering, Thymesia is really impressive.
That's a good point, yeah.
And I should also note that the game never crashed once for me, but I did get some lag spikes here and there, but these only lasted for maybe 2 to 3 seconds at a time before going away. Thankfully, these lag spikes never happened during boss battles either.
Yeah,
but
I mean, even Elden Ring had that.
Thymesia never crashed, considering how many games launch busted these days. It's a breath of fresh air that the developers actually took their time to make the game work, which is great. Also,
yeah, I think that's definitely a very good point. The game seems to be like a complete experience, even though it's smaller.
As of the making of this video, from what I can see, there doesn't seem to be a New Game Plus feature that I'm aware of, which is disappointing, and I would have liked to have more than 3 levels in the game. However, like I said, one of these 3 levels has about 2 sub-levels to them with their own unique level layouts, so I guess you could say 5 levels in total, but only 3 of these are required in order to beat the game. And although you can alter your parrying mechanic to make it more forgiving, I kinda wish Thymesia leaned more into Sekiro's version of the mechanic, as there were many times where I thought I would do a parry correctly, only to get punished, but maybe I just suck. Also, bizarrely, the game has no actual voice acting besides some grunts.
Yeah, obviously I feel like the parrying in Sekiro and like the sword play in Sekiro, I mean, that's the whole game. So like, big surprise, it's really, really good. Like, I feel like Sekiro is just far and away the best one, and no other game really comes close to it in terms of like character to boss, like interaction and like counterplay.
Some enemies do, which is weird because some of the bosses talk during their fights, but you're so focused on not dying that I rarely, if ever, actually read what they were even saying. And I would have liked to have had more enemy variety in the actual levels as well. Besides weird smelly villagers with knives or spears, you're basically fighting plague-ridden knights or other soldier types with axes, spears, swords, and so on. There is also a few other enemy types, but they are all humanoid in design as well. Unfortunately, there's no animals or non-human enemies really. The bosses, however, are another story, but again, no
There's only a handful of them, and like, yeah, we saw the first one. Whenever I see a game like this, it always makes me think that, like, one of the really cool things about, like, now that we have, like, the multiplayer mod for Elden Ring, and one of the cool things about, like, New World even, or Tower of Fantasy, or WoW, or Final Fantasy, like, is that they're multiplayer games. I feel like whenever a game is multiplayer, it makes it much more exciting and interesting for me. Like, just a straight-up single-player experience like this, without any real sort of, like, you know, like, co-op or anything like that, I don't know, like, really how interesting that is to me.
For that, so I won't show you. There's also some weird audio spikes here and there. One optional boss in particular screams really loud upon initiating the fight, which was not very cash money on my ears. And the final boss fight is pretty disappointing, and the music in the final fight for me kept looping weird, and it was really distracting, but I'm sure they'll patch that. But anyway, let's get to the verdict. Okay. Is Thymesia worth your time and money? If you enjoy Soulsborne games like Bloodborne or Sekiro and are looking for your next test of skill, I would say absolutely yes. It's a thrilling game full of cool customization mechanics, some solid boss designs, and a very fun combat system. But if you're looking for a game that's full of content and will last you hundreds of hours, just know this isn't it.
Yeah.
Thymesia is quality over quantity for the most part, and if you're cool with that, then I'd say it's worth the purchase. I guess if you want a numbered score, which I think is pretty dumb, but whatever, then I'd give the game a solid 7.5 out of 10. But don't let numbers dictate whether you enjoy something or not. Make decisions for yourself and don't become a slave to sites like Metacritic. Thymesia is launching on PlayStation 5, Xbox...
Everybody always says, like, yeah, don't listen to the critic websites, except for this one time where, like, everybody fucking rated this one game really high or really low, and I totally agree with it. So, yeah, it's not always wrong, right? Yeah, or an Aspen video. Movement looks wonky. I think that it looks okay. I mean, to me, it's like, especially for a game that's like, this is an indie game. It's not, you know, developed by some gigantic studio. It's $25. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of bullshit involved beyond the $25. I feel like this is a relatively good value.
Series X and PC, and if you want more on Thymesia, I'll be doing a tips and tricks video as well as my own personal ranking of the bosses from easiest to hardest in the
indie is really
days.
good. Yeah, I would say
Alright,
so.
I think I've talked enough. I hope you enjoyed my first actual real review that I've done on this channel. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go scream at the sun because it's way too hot outside. How can people even like hot weather? Fall is so much better. Anyway, I'm done talking. Subscribe and share to spread the word, and thanks to my patrons for their undying support. I'm Endymion, and I'll see you in the next one.
I haven't watched one of this guy's videos before. Like, I guess this guy lives in Texas. Like, I fucking feel the exact same way, man. Holy fucking shit, it's hot. Wow. Yeah, let me go ahead and link this to you guys. I've never watched one of this guy's videos before, so this is the first time. I think it's actually pretty good overall. Yeah, I like it. It's a good video. And started to change where I live? Yeah, thank fucking God, man. I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, the game itself, like, as I said, whenever I was watching this gameplay, it just made me think back on playing Elden Ring and hope that the mods that, like, change the game fundamentally, right? Like the Cinders mod or the Convergence mod or Hollow mod for Dark Souls 3. It just made me think about how much I'm excited for those mods. Like, the game itself looks okay, right? It's like, maybe if I was bored one day, I would play it and try it out, sure. And I think I'd probably enjoy myself for the most of the time. But that's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah, those mods, exactly, man. Soulsborne games about setting and story. I love the world's broken and filled with dread and despair. Yeah, I would say that's a big factor, too, absolutely. Yeah, how about the PvP aspect of it with the community or something? I mean, like, PvP, I don't really care about PvP in games that aren't, like, competitive PvP games. Like, I don't know. Like, WoW is, like, my exception because I'm a big WoW player. But, like, outside of that, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care about New World PvP. I don't care about Tower Fantasy PvP. I don't care about Elden Ring PvP. I don't give a shit about any of this stuff because it's all broken, dysfunctional, unbalanced garbage, in my opinion. Now, sometimes it's fun to play, but it's still that same thing. Right, that's what I think. Anyway, I was gonna watch the. Also, I think we're gonna take a look at the actual video, trash talking in gaming. Now, this has been a very popular topic. A lot of people have had, and people have been talking about how teabagging is sexual harassment. They've been talking about how trash talk is like horrible, it should be banned, etc. Right? Twitter Andes. The only people that think that teabagging is actually something that should be regulated by the people that do tournaments or is a problem, these people are psychos. They're unreasonable psychos. Just close your eyes. Yeah, exactly. It's like these people, the reason why I think that it's bad is that whenever they do stuff like that, it kind of muddies the water around, like, what real harassment is and what it's not. Because, like, now you have these people that are pretending like, oh, well, you know, somebody's teabagging me in a video game and you're calling this sexual harassment, but, like, meanwhile, somebody else is getting a guy sending her dick pics. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say like teabagging is like to some degree sexual harassment, but like it's just so disconnected, and that's clearly not what people are thinking whenever they're doing it. It's completely unreasonable. So it muddies the water and it dilutes the problem. Here we go. One of the devs tweeted that teabagging and sexual assault got railed on by the player base. That's because a lot of developers for video games are morons. Like, that's it. They're morons. They're very good at coding. They're very good at art or something like that. But their actual opinions about video games are dumb. Like, that's just... I mean, there it is. And it's the same thing with, like, other streamers. It's the same thing with a lot of people. So, like, you should never be surprised whenever a game developer has a stupid opinion about something in gaming, because that's not what they're hired to do. They're just hired to, you know, make code or, you know, do something or make something work a certain way. So you should never be surprised about that. Here we go.
What's up, class? This is your new teacher here today, the Act Historian. You can lick my fat, hairy butthole, is what I would say if I was making a video on trash talk and trying to keep it monetized.
True.
Here's
Guardian, we've received limited intel regarding a Vex information depot. I want you to get in there and figure out what they know.
Greetings, Captain. Commander Zavala has requested that I run tactical on this mission. Please allow me to help you with your invasion of the Inside Terminus.
Hello, Failsafe. You're familiar with this place.
Oh yes, quite. The Vex were very active there when the Exodus Black first arrived on Nessus.
The Vex that murdered my crew came from there.
I'm sorry that you have to relive those memories.
It's all right. It's only taken me a few centuries to suppress them.
Guardian, I'm making the elimination of Kargan your priority on this operation. His crew has been active all over the system. From our intel, he's mostly targeting Vex installations. However, removing him can only strengthen our position. Put him down.
I have good news.
And bad news.
Give us the good news first.
The good news is that Kargan is killing Vex by the dozen.
All right. What's the bad news?
Kargan has almost complete control over the Vex Gate network. I predict several detachments of Cabal over the next few minutes.
Wonderful. There's got to be a way to get through here. Failsafe, any ideas?
I believe Centurions will possess the means to remove the Vex block and grant you ingress. Excellent work, Captain. You are at 50% completion of this task.
There's Kargan. Location secured, Commander Zavala.
Good work, Gunn. What intel did you discover?
There's only one data artifact here, labeled Oxa, and it's seriously corrupted. Metadata says it was last accessed by an Otzot centuries ago. What is Oxa? And who is Otzot?
Those are questions for another day, I suppose. But for now, well done.
Guardian, the Cabal have established a base not far from here. It's possible they're already engaged with the Hive, so expect a little chaos.
This is our chance to kill two birds with one stone.
If those are birds, you're gonna need a boulder at least. Brought some serious weaponry with them. They must really hate the Hive. And again, how else should you feel after your home has been destroyed?
Now is not the time to psychoanalyze the enemy.
Right. Meditate on their motives when they're dead. about you, but this just feels routine now. Who would have thought Cosmodrome sweeps and decoding engrams would bring the same level of excitement?
I wouldn't, though your lack of professionalism continues to amaze me.
A transaction to make, Guardian?
Hi there. Transfer. Good luck.
Your return honors me, Guardian. Guardian, what puzzles do you bear?